It's more than just a permission to not be perfect. It's more than just a self-help tool. It's the thing that can help you stand out. It's a thing that can make you build a product that is super successful without working harder. It's the way to get noticed. It's a way to do work and life different. Hey, Nicole, what do you get when a former corporate CEO and a do-gooding executive walk into a recording studio?
Well, Aaron, nothing, because the two of us are usually on my couch or Zoom because wine.
You get a podcast created for Gen X women who are bought into the corporate world but fed up with the BS.
I know. It's how to thrive the 9 to 5 or 6 or 7.
It's career therapy. It's comedy. It's definitely full-on authenticity. Basically, we give you tangible strategies to rise in your career without compromising everything else.
Because work doesn't have to suck. She calls me and she's like, Cousin Billy is having a fundraiser and it's at a bowling alley. And we're not talking like a fancy bowling alley. We're talking like an old school.
Is there such a thing? I guess maybe at the casino.
Oh, there's fancy bowling alleys with lights and real drinks and people who haven't smoked 2 packs of Camels that day. Like, for sure. But this is one of those old school ones that is way better, like, on the margins of society. And he's having a bowling fundraiser. Like, nothing about this makes any sense.
Was he fundraising for bowling or was he fundraising for something else at the bowling alley?
He was fundraising for the Alzheimer's Association in honor of his wife, Pat, who was diagnosed 5 years ago. And one of her major activities that she does and can do and does really well is bowling. So, first of all, not entirely sure who Cousin Billy is. I was like, that's fine.
You didn't even know who Cousin Billy was?
I had like an inkling, but it'd been a long time. And I was like, this is one of my mom's first cousins on her mom's side. There's a lot, like, we're Italian. There's a lot of cousins, and this is on the other side of the family. I was like, Cousin Billy, I feel like I know this as a family historian. And she's like, well, he's doing a fundraiser, and he really wants me to go, but it's like more than 2 seconds away, and I'm not driving. And I was like, okay, Mom. And so, of course, me being me, I get on like Facebook and I start Googling because she has absolutely no details. It's a bowling fundraiser. I was like, there's got to be something out there. Oh, guess what? It has a whole thing there. There's raffles, there's prizes, there's contests. I'm like, this is big. This is not just some little thing. I was like, this is an event. So I was like, all right, Mom, like, I will get you to this fundraiser. And this is the beauty, Aaron, of me basically not making plans ever anymore. Is that like I have space to go to bowling fundraisers, right? Yeah, 50% rule. I'm just doing it slightly differently and getting better results, right? So it's like, Mom, that's great. However, I sort of noted that there was like a costume contest in there. And I was like, if I'm going to spend my Saturday doing an activity that I'm terrible at with family that I maybe don't know in a place where I'm not sure that I can get drinks, I was like, I'm going to dress up. I was like, I'm going to call it a day. So being me, I like go through the closet of like the man who formerly used to live here. And I was like, I believe there may be a 70s leisure suit in here. And what do you know? I found a 70s leisure suit. I mean, chartreuse, yellow, brown plaid, right? With like the inner silk, fake silk shirt. Oh, I found like 1970s, like, Big Lebowski bowling glasses. Like, mind you, I had been wearing them that day. So it wasn't like they were gone somewhere. I found a bowling glove, like a leather bowling glove.
That was my favorite.
With the nails. I was like, like it was just like, it was so right there. And I got to the bowling alley and there was a bowling ball that matched my outfit. I mean, it was divine intervention. And I remember, I think I sent you a text from the car that said something like, Mom called me and wanted to go to a bowling fundraiser. And I'm like, in the car, and I'm like 15 minutes later, and it's like me in the leisure suit. Well, the truth is that I won that costume contest, and I bowled all day in that outfit. And I did not bowl over 100, but I was the big winner that day. Big winner, because I came home with the $50 in muffins.
And I think you came home with all 10 of your nails too, which is probably the bigger miracle.
All 10 of my nails. And like my family showed up and Sonny was there. He even like fake pulled a strike and we won raffles and prizes and everyone was excited that we went. But I was a big winner with my muffins. I was so excited. And I think maybe that night, maybe you caught glimmer of this?
Oh my God. Yeah. So she sends me this text, which by the way, like this goes back to the episode we did about friendships. And when, I know it's your mother, but like you are so good at not just, you said yes to taking her. And very easily, so many people would be like, oh, like last thing I want to do is drive my mother. Cause it was up in like Southington or something. Right?
Southington, like I wasn't
So
even
that's
sure.
like an hour, right?
Yeah.
At
Oh,
least
yeah.
from you have to go get your mom. So but you did it with substance and with fun and with flair. And that's like what makes you so special. You do that for family, you do that for friends, you do that for cousins you don't even know. But yeah, so she tells me this, sends me the text and I'm dying laughing. Of course, I like immediately turn it into a meme and put it in our private Facebook post with zero permission from her. I was like, I'll tell her later. And
I have blanket permission. That's why I send you
yeah,
shit.
yeah, the disclaimer was not signed years ago. And so anyway, that night, Manny and I were in bed and I usually do not make it past 10:15, 10:30. I'm like, doesn't matter what day of the week.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we were up for the local news. And actually, we kind of, the local news, once it does come on, we used to just like not watch it or we hated it or it was annoying. And now it's just if you actually watch the local news and like basically make fun of it, like you act like those Muppet critics sitting up in the like booth, it's hilarious because so much of it is just so ridiculous and glamorous. So we're watching the news and not 5 minutes into the news segment, I'm like, oh my God, that's a guy I was kind of half watching. It's a guy talking to a reporter and he's in a bowling alley. And I look underneath and it says Bill something.
Lynch.
And I'm like, oh my God. I said to Manny, I'm like, I think that's Cousin Billy. That's where Nicole went. And she's like, what? The only thing that would have been better, God damn it.
If I had like been creeping across like the
your
back
hair could have come bobbing through the picture. I would have lost my shit.
That would have been awesome. My 2-year-old nephew did look at me. He's so well trained. And he saw me. He goes, Zizzy, is it Halloween yet? I love you. Which leads me to like one other hilarious story that like yesterday I just really needed a drink. And I have this rule where I don't drink alone. So I co-opted my mom and my sister-in-law, who also needed a drink, to drinking with me. And by the end of the night, we had devised an entire family costume based around what Sunny actually wants to do. And mind you, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like 9 or 10 of us in this group, right? And it's going to be Toy Story themed. And we convinced my mom to be Ham, the piggy bank. And she is on it. She was at Walmart this morning buying her stuff. Like she was like, I found a pink suit and like a nose. The woman is on it. I was like,
you guys are going to go walking through neighborhoods and be like celebrities for sure.
Oh, and Bayview is a big Halloween town. People dress up. There's trick or treat. There's lick or treat. I mean, and do you know who I'm going to be? I'm going to be T-Rex in the big blow costume. I'm going to be like running down the street like T-Rex. I mean, we are living our best costume family dream.
And you should go to dinner afterwards and be like, sorry, I can't get the check.
my arms are too small. The only thing is I won't be able to take selfies, so I'll have to maybe assign.
You'll be able to shove some candy in though. I bet you still can get those little friggin' claws up to your mouth.
And the Miller Lights that are going to be handed out. It's going to be so great.
Miller Lite and chocolate.
That's my amazing big win. Do it your way. 50% it. Just show up, cancel everything, and do other shit, and get dressed up and drunk while doing it story. So, I'll let you know how the muffins are because I did get some intel on this muffin shop. It's supposed to be quite awesome, and I will be there Sunday. I will be eating all the muffins on Sunday.
I can't wait.
I'm putting it on my to-do list right now. Muffins.
Sunday. So do you want to hear why I am awesome this week / not awesome?
Tell me why. Yes.
So, the universe is really good at both rewarding you and bitch slapping you and keeping you humble. Right? No.
I have no experience in this, Erin. Tell me, please. Again.
Well, so this week was a busy week in terms of like delivery. Everything. Like I was not in my what I call Aaron's writing outfit, which is just an excuse for me not showering and putting on like a headband and wearing my glasses.
Yeah.
I was out and about. And so Monday I was down in your neck of the woods at Yale. I was speaking to their
You were.
global executive leadership program or something, right? And then Wednesday was actually with a client all afternoon up here in Hartford, delivering sort of session and working with them on some stuff.
Mhm.
Today I had like a virtual session. It was just a busy week, right? Getting ready for book launch, which is out today when we play this, but this is a week and a half before. So just doing some good stuff, feeling pretty good. You got a new speaking contract, like just humming. And yesterday I picked up my phone and pulled up LinkedIn, which yes, I do like 10 times a day. I know I'm a nerd.
Because you love
And
it.
and it like accidentally like went to the jobs tab, which I of course don't look at. I'm not in the market for a job, but there's like a tab that's like recommended jobs, or maybe it just comes up for you. I don't know.
I think it's in the sidebar.
It yeah, but it was like front and center. So I look at it. There's actually 3 jobs. I forget what the third one, but I take a screenshot of it. So one job is for a company called Torrid. The job title, oh no, I'm sorry. That's the town. I don't know. It says key holder. It's in Farmington. Okay, it's in Farmington,
Mhm.
Connecticut. It says key holder. I guess that's the job. I don't know. Pay is between 16.69 an hour and 18.78. They're
Mm.
very precise. And then the second recommendation was host at Cracker Barrel in Milford. And they give medical 401k.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, if you were a hostess at Cracker Barrel, I would definitely go there. I mean, it would give me like a newfound, maybe just like appreciation or understanding of their business model. But I feel like maybe you should be CEO and not host it. Like your leadership.
Look, I have nothing against those jobs. I waited tables. I bussed table like for probably 6 years growing up. I think can you imagine if I was a host at Cracker Barrel? I'd be like, how many? By the way, what are you willing to do to have the success you deserve?
Like, and it's like, what?
On the mic.
Yes. And you'll be like, and I know you'll be like, I'm sorry, we don't take reservations for any size parties. Please tell me all the decisions you made in order to get here today with your party of 20 at a Cracker Barrel. Well, no reservations are taken. And your expectations, were they aligned accordingly? And we're like, and there's the top steps that you can make to achieving your own success. Like, we should go back, look at your decision-making capabilities, maybe some KPIs. I mean, you would just crush them. But also, it really has nothing to do with you or the jobs. It's everything about LinkedIn algorithms. And you know how I freaking feel about LinkedIn. It's the most socially stressful of all of the social media. And I stay away from it as much as possible. And it just makes me laugh to see one of their algorithms just be so bad. Because I was like, see, you're not all knowing and all being. And not everything that happens on LinkedIn is good and fair and true and right. So
Oh, hilarious. Like, I'm so glad my experience and thought leadership has really driven the algorithm to make these wise recommendations.
you're obviously improving. You're improving the gene pool. You know, you really are, like the LinkedIn gene pool. You know how it is. You just every day it's just getting closer and closer to excellence and just really identifying all the core things that you succeed at. Speaking of gene pool, how funny was it when I was showing you my ancestry DNA traits and it literally said that I would be less inclined to like sports? I was like, that's genetic. Like someone can tell from my genetic background that, I mean, and there was
Yeah, now I'm
other
pissed though. You're
athletic-
gonna like use it as an excuse now that you've found it.
But it also said that I don't take to choreography, that I have basically no coordination. All of this is true, right? And this is from like a person who has been around athletes and athletic people their whole life, even some that were good. And it was always like you're not practicing enough, you're not doing good enough, you're not trying hard enough, or just like you have absolutely no talent. And I was just like, I always felt like there's something going on with me. And later in life, like I have found out that, maybe there are some physical traits that do whatever, lend to this. But the other thing it said is that I have phenomenal strength. And I was like, that is true.
That's true.
That is true. Like strength and athleticism are not the same thing. And I was like, okay, so I can't really throw a ball or watch a football game, but I can lift some shit. So you want me as your friend to help you move? Maybe not to watch Sunday football because I don't know.
I feel like should have a new saying. Like anytime people give you crap about something, you're like, it's not my doing, it's my DNA.
I need a t-shirt. All right. Not my doing. It's my
It's
DNA.
my DNA.
It's not my doing. Oh my God.
Like we should get that URL and sell it to Ancestry.
Oh my God. But okay, that business, don't no one steal this. This is happening. We are 100% making t-shirts because
Thank God we
there's
don't
a
have
lot of
millions of
things.
people that listen to steal our idea.
Well, look, like we have good ideas. Like there's a lot of things that are not my doing, particularly at work that I just want to be like, it's not my strong suit, not my doing, not my DNA.
No,
Like, we gotta give that to somebody else with a different genetic profile.
Yeah.
If you want to ensure success,
give it to somebody else with a different DNA.
Hey, Erin here. So I know we talk often about this concept of authenticity as a secret weapon to success. I swear to you, my authenticity was literally the number one thing that helped me become both the CEO of a 9-figure company at the age of 42, but also that helped me lead an insanely successful financial and cultural turnaround of that same company. But I get that authenticity as a secret weapon kind of sounds fluffy, like fluffy unicorn doo-doo that leaves you wondering, what do I actually wake up tomorrow and do differently without looking stupid or getting fired? This is exactly why I put together the Authenticity Playbook for you. It gives you 10 plays or really thought starters that are simple, actionable things that will help you up your career and leadership game. To get your free Authenticity Playbook, go to beauthenticinc.com/playbook. Again, that's beauthenticinc.com, just the letter B, authenticinc.com/playbook. Or to make it simple, just scroll down to the show notes and we've got you covered with a link there too.
But on that note, we should talk about something that is awesome, which is your book, because it's coming out really soon. And
it's coming out today. Remember, so we're recording this, and the way it works is we're going to release it on the release day.
It's coming out on the release.
We've been doing podcasts for 5 years. You haven't learned like future forecasting of.
It's coming out in future.
We're picking the date.
Future today. It's coming out future today. And this is going to align with future today. Yes, it's coming out today, people. Hot damn today. I'm awesome. You know what? I'm authentically made, which just makes it so much better. But it is very, very soon. And it's very exciting. And also kicking off your extravagantly awesome, half ridiculous, totally cool, whatever, podcast, book tour, tailgate situation.
Half ridiculously authentic, half rampantly extravagant tailgate book tour that
which I helped you name and cannot remember, but also I just like to add adjectives in because it's Friday and I'm feeling spicy. So excellent. But I do have a tell me why question, and this is something I've been asking. Like this is something we've been kind of talking about, and I've been asking a little bit, which is, I've experienced the book, right? It's amazing. If you don't read this thing, I think, and we've talked about it, I think that people will be missing out on like a key experience of what is going on in, I don't want to say self-help, right? Like leadership development, self-development, whatever, like this genre that we're in. Tell me why. I want to know what kind of FOMO people are going to have if they're not part of this book. Like, and not like the release, like pre-order, get it while it's hot, show up at an event. What FOMO?
I mean, FOMO. So there's two things that come to mind. It's sort of half answering. The first thing, because this is just like, it's on my mind. I haven't talked about it. It drives me insane. So I'm going to actually go backwards. So when I when I was part of Brand Builders Group, which was an amazing group, but was also the same place where I had to come up with this rule because I was totally overwhelmed. I'll never forget being in their 2-day event around it's called like writing a best-selling book, right? And it's about like what are the techniques, and learn some really good substantive. So just like you do you-ish, this book has like over 60 sort of inline quotes, pithy quotes, right? So you can remember things better. I learned sort of the technique to develop those and that, and how to sort of manage your content. But the thing that literally like irked me to the bone and has driven me was I remember him saying, look, it's not a best reading book. The lists are not best reading books, right? The lists, they're best selling books. And for an authenticity queen, that's like throw up in my mouth, right?
Right.
And it's actually true. Let's just be honest, there are so many shitty nonfiction books, call it, right? And they're boring, prescriptive, repetitive, etc. But
I have an entire
some of them
collection
do
on Audible. Yes.
Some of them do really well. And part of that is just they've figured out how to create the following and the marketing, etc. So I think from that moment, honestly, super cheesy. I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. Like, I'm going to write a really damn good book. And when I say I'm going to write a really damn good book, it's both the substance, which this book has, and I think you as chat, like something unique, making shit up that isn't helpful. But you know what, Nicole? Is freaking fun to read. It's not noble. It's not, you got to put it on your list. I mean, I feel like with fiction, we read them for enjoyment. Like, right? Obviously.
We want to get wrapped up in a story.
Right. And for nonfiction, we're like, we do it because we're supposed to do it because we need it, whatever.
We're supposed to be like developing ourselves or something.
We're supposed to be developing ourselves. And
learning something or we want to be impressive at a dinner party, whatever.
Something like that. So back to the kind of FOMO question. I mean, I think first of all, it's fun to read. There are so many stories and ridiculous metaphors and funny moments, and each chapter has a different rhythm to it and a different quirk to it. And none of the chapters are more than, 4 pages long. So it's consumable. So I think the first, FOMO is, I think I want people to share this both because of the profound nature of it, which is mostly a nonfiction, but also the reason we share fiction book is like, it was an enjoyable escape to read it. So I think that's the first thing. And the second thing is this book is different than my first one. The first one, in a sense, it's more complicated, this concept of authenticity as strategy. And then you've got the framework and people buy into it, but it takes a little time. This one's different. Like the rule is so freaking simple. The 50% rule simply says anytime you're doing something new, taking advice, listening to a podcast, launching a business, only take the half of normal that feels good to you, that doesn't feel inauthentic, that feels like it probably still works, and give yourself permission to throw out the other half, but make room to sort of curate your own. And so it's one of those like, okay, got it. But, I would say that as I've talked about it, I've talked about both my regular authenticity track and I've talked about the 50% rule, the way people grab onto it, even you have. I mean, how many times do you text me and you're like, oh, 50% rule? And like, is it always like
example of that?
Is it always like, and the funny part is, if it were a test and I was like, oh yeah, that kind of fits into the confines of how I talk about the 50% rule, 50% of the time you say that, I'd be like, that's not really the 50% rule. But what's most important is you're like, it's relieved pressure to be perfect. It's made you feel more motivated and excited and creative, right? Like so to answer.
Right, because let me just add right there, which is I think one of the beauties about the 50% rule, the way you describe it, is that in particular for people like me who live with this constant source of anxiety driven by perfectionism, the first thing it does is allow you to drop the perfectionism and start looking at your life in a totally different way. right? Like that's gone right there, 50%, right? You've lost that internal perfection driven anxiety and
But you and
don't
the
miss out on kind of
what's
life experience.
yes. Yes, and what I think people love about it, I love about it, is you've put, like, this ridiculously distinct name, so it's not like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be a perfectionist in this scenario." It's like, "No, I'm gonna 50% rule." Like, there's just something it's like I feel like it's kinda like the Nike "Just Do It." Like, it's so
Yep.
simple, but
Yep.
like, when you say "Just do it," right, it means go after it, like, stop your excuse right? Like, it just that quick little sort of phrase and name to it. So, I mean, I think this is a book. One, I think that concept. Two, I think it's more fun if everybody else is around. Like, can you imagine you read this and you're all fired up, and then you go to work or you're in your friend group and you're like, "Oh, I 50% rolled it," and they just look at you like, "What?"
Because it sounds like the exact opposite of what you're saying. It's not some kind of half-assery
Mm.
magic. It's not that.
No, no, it's a different take. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is the kind of book where I'm hoping people want to read it and they want to give it to their friends and their colleagues so that they can create this, this community, right? Of people
Yeah.
that are sort of using this language. And then, what I always say is it's more than just a permission to not be perfect. It's more than just a self-help tool. The reason it's a book, the reason there's 288 pages is that once you get through that and you start using that, then it's also the thing that can help you stand out. It's a thing that can make you build a product that is super successful without working harder. It's the way to get noticed. It's a way to do work and life different. And so the rest, the book is sort of organized into 50% your professional development, 50% your leadership, 50% your business growth, and 50% your personal life, because it can be applied across all. And so I don't know. I think it's fun. I tell a lot of stories. You know how stories are. Stories just help you
Yes.
go into them and ride side cart and say, okay, what I'm hearing in this story is I'm only hearing about half of it, and the other half I'm hearing my own story, and it's creating these new ideas. And it's like a tapestry. It's like I want this to be kind of like that coloring book where I've drawn the lines, and you're like,
Mhm.
it's a hell of a lot more fun and easier now to like color it in versus have to, start from scratch.
I love that. And I love like the concept of just of how like you perceive this to be like a just do it permission, like a push. And that is something I think a lot of like real extroverted sort of aggressive go-getters like latch onto. And it's funny, it's like sort of the opposite of you interpret that as like, well, that's scary. Just go do what? Like, holy shit. But I'm like,
Mhm.
go do whatever like I want with like the awesomeness that I have and figure it out along the way, right? It doesn't have to all be mapped out for you. So there's so many different ways I think to see this and interpret it and use it in your life. And it really is. Sometimes the simplest things are the most radical. But you brought up something that I wanted to talk about, which is already sort of the feedback loop that you're getting. And so,
Mm.
I mean, I know there's been some people close to you that have said, yeah, this has changed my life. So, and I haven't heard these stories. So I actually am legitimately curious to know sort of what the feedback loop has been, because I've sort of caught the margins of it in conversation or maybe in like podcast group, Facebook group and stuff, but definitely interested to hear about some of these early feedback examples.
Yeah, and I mean that's a big difference too with the first book. I sort of wrote it at the same time I was sort of speaking it and collecting data, and luckily the
Mm.
data was positive. This one's a little different. It's like I've been using this in practice, not just for myself, but with others, informally, formally. It's come up in coaching calls, it's come up with friends for like 4 years, right? So this is not like something that doesn't have a bazillion people that have like
And
gone,
that's data
"Oh,
points. You've
shit,
been doing the
yeah,
work,
as
collecting
data
the
points."
data. Hmm.
Yeah, but I think one of the earliest ones I remember is a woman who saw me speak at an event years ago and has become a super supporter. And she was early on in part of the work group. So I started the work group for the book like
Oh
a year
yeah.
and a half ago too. And I'll never forget, she emailed me and she said, "Oh my God, Erin," she basically got double promoted.
What?
Yeah, she's like, she went from manager to senior director. So she went from manager to director, but skipped that one to like senior director. And she's like, it's all because I 50% ruled things. Um, I had I had somebody
Double
actually
promote.
just 3 days ago write me. I also did a talk for her company. They hired me in to do a virtual talk for International Women's Day. And she had been writing me. She'd been going for a new job, a lot of trepidation, a lot of imposter syndrome. I was actually going to try to jump on a call and give her some advice, but our calendars kept missing each other and we couldn't get it scheduled. And because she had to go into one of her interviews and they said, you bring like a business plan for how you would grow this area. Right. And this is just like, she's actually a clinical background. So
Right.
it's a healthcare company, but her background's clinical. It's not necessarily business. And so we actually didn't get a chance to meet, but because she knew about the 50% rule, she's like, I 50% ruled my presentation.
Hmm.
And she's like, it was so creative. People like gave me the highest praises. And then I forgot about it. And she just told me a couple days ago. I was like, by the way, how did it go? And she's like, oh yeah, I start in a couple weeks. I'm like, by the way, people, if I ever give you advice and stuff and you forget to come tell me,
Yeah.
like, I do care.
I
And
will
it's
track you down. I will hunt you down.
Yeah, I do care. I do care. I want to know.
Hey there, it's Erin. I'm just popping in real quick to ask you a question. Is there any chance you know someone who is looking for a keynote speaker for their upcoming event? Look, I know that many event organizers, they struggle to find a speaker who provides both tangible value and business knowledge, but that also lights their audience on fire. And I truly believe there aren't many speakers like me out there who are both former corporate executives and professionally trained speakers. And there's definitely none that roll in with an orange suitcase they unpack with their audience. Trust me on that. I would love nothing more than to bring my message of using authenticity as your strategic career and business advantage to people spinning in your universe, especially if you'd be there. I promise my talks always create an immediate buzz, but not just right after, but for months and years after the event is over. You can learn more about my message, style, and reviews, and share my speaking info by going to beauthenticinc.com/keynote-speaking. That's B, just the letter B, authenticinc.com/keynote-speaking. Or of course, we have it right in the show notes to make it easy for you too.
I think one of my favorite stories too. So there's also real peep stories. There's literally sections within the book where instead of talking about super famous people or talking about my dumbass self, people from the work group have, submitted and we have stories of how they use the 50% rule. A couple stick out. One was the one Jen DeSantis tells about going into a meeting and with a VP, like 2 or 3 levels above her. She was new in the company. She's in the marketing role. And so her first thought was, I'm in marketing and it's a VP. Like, I need a fancy PowerPoint deck. And then to your point, like, she thought about the 50% rule more as a permission. Like, wait a minute, a big part of 50% rule is what would I want? And so she's like, if I were in her position, I'd want to sit and have a conversation. And so she went in without a PowerPoint deck. And this was at least 9 months ago.
Awesome.
And then her immediate feedback, which we put in the book, was they got me more involved in things. The meeting went great. They got me more involved in strategic meetings instead of pulling me in last minute. It's a marketing support. But confidentially, I can't tell too much, but she's got significant opportunities now, because she's like, it all went back to that meeting. It all started with that meeting when I chose to do it differently. And then the most heartwarming one, Bill McCormick tells a story in there. He's been a super, so he's an entrepreneur. He runs his own business. And so many times we'd be on our calls. He's like, oh my gosh, the 50% rule has completely changed my business. And he would be like, and I just landed this opportunity and that opportunity. So the things you think you're looking for. And that's great. But when he wrote his story, he talked about the success of his business and the growth from it. But what I didn't expect and I didn't see coming, he talked about he's also, an evangelical Christian. He's a, older white dude, and how the 50% rule has really helped him start to see other people's opinions, other sides that he traditionally sort of stayed away from, that he didn't, he sort of put himself
Wow.
in the one bucket, right? That was on one side, and it made him just really open up and see people in a whole new light. And that was like, I did not see that coming. I did not expect it. But I'm like, holy crap, if that's an outcome,
Wow.
50% rule, like
I am
Jesus
personally
Christ, like,
moved. I am
God.
personally moved for many reasons, and my snarky side will take a back seat on this one. And nope, I've
Yeah,
had my
I can't. Yeah.
I've had a very similar experience with, you know, uh, that community recently, and
Mm.
yeah, their opinions are quite strong, and really do echo their social engagement and their relationships and their business decisions, and I respect that, but also I love an openness. Do you feel like this book is? Do you feel like the 50% rule, not just the book, but the 50%,
Right.
would you call it an authenticity permission slip?
First of all, I hate the word permission slip. Just like I do.
Really?
Actually, funny story
Oh,
when my
this is
editor
I did not expect this.
Susie, who is freaking phenomenal, I won the lotto, and my partner in Urano was Susie Schwartz. When she first picked up the edit, which, we went back and forth, like that process is like 4 months, but it was like the first pass. She saw all of my quotes. She said, "Oh, it might be fun to do like a little permission slip." And I was like, that is so Instagram, like
Mm,
fluffy coaching. Like it's just
yes,
not me. So yeah, I mean, it- permissions. So back to your question though, I do think that is one thing. The hardest part about this rule is like it doesn't solve one thing. And it's funny. I love this book. Like I've just loved it. Like I just really do.
you loved it before
love
it was born.
I
I'm like
love
a
this book like a
pre-baby.
child. It's weird. Like it's so weird. I love it. But I shouldn't have done this. I was listening to a podcast 2 days ago, searching for something. And I'm like, and there's this podcast I follow that's called Don't Write That Book. And it's Mike Michalowicz. He's an author that I really love. And his writing partner, he has sort of a partner ghostwriter that he works with on his books. And the topic of that one, and I almost didn't do it. I was like, don't listen to this because you already have written the book. It's like, don't write that introduction. Right. And so of course, it's about like what not to do and what to do in your introductions. And of course, I'm like, and a lot of it's about like, be really specific don't try to scattershot it. What is the problem you solve? Connect with that reader so they know on page like 2 that you're there to kind of solve their problem, which I totally get. I struggle though, because the 50% rule, yes, it is a permission to be more authentic, but it's also a motivator. It's also a thing that helps you, stand out from the crowd and the noise of people not paying attention to you. It's, a thing that makes you also make sure that you hold on to the 50% and don't go totally rogue. I mean, there's the whole chapter about don't throw the baby out with the hot tub water when I tell the infamous story about the first time I kissed my husband, and the metaphorical message that comes with that. But like, it's also for a lot of people, like, there are times where I just want to kick the freaking football like a he woman. But the problem is I'll like kick it out of the end zone, but like shake it to the left because I do it too 100% authentic. So yeah, I mean,
You don't want to. You don't
I
want to
call
miss
it
the audience.
I call it an authenticity hack. It's an innovation hack. It's a self-help, permission to release your perfectionism. It's got all kinds of
For some reason, I knew
positive
that
effects.
question would incite good conversation. I don't know why. It just popped into my head, and I was like, it's like it's not a win because I was thinking about asking you like, oh, what was your most surprising moment? But then the Bill McCormick story kind of rose to that. It seems
Yeah.
like I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
That was the most surprising moment. I think the other thing is just there were surprising moments nonstop. The book is so freaking cheesy. It wrote itself, but
I like
it didn't write itself. Like,
cheese is delicious.
I had all these stories. I had a framework. I knew in general what I wanted to do, but most of the time when I sat down to write a chapter, that I only knew about half of where it was going to go. I know it sounds super corny. It is 1,000% true though. And so especially the last chapter, like if you get this book, and I know it's hard sometimes, like I'm a starter, not a finisher, but read chapter 30, read the last chapter, because I had a story that I thought would be good to end on.
Mm.
And as I started to research that story, it unfolded this, like literally this whole new world of stories. And as I tried to look at the origin of it and all of these lessons, and it literally, I was like, I could not have planned a better like bookend. But I didn't, I just knew I was going to end with this story because I love this. Like I tell tons of stories of 50% rulers, as I call them, or people that 50%. And so I think that was the other surprising. I always say it was like a magnetile. You know, those, does Sonny have those? If he doesn't, you put it on the Christmas,
Yeah.
the little magnetic building.
Building block things. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different than a regular building block. The regular building block, you have to set them down. A magnetile, you get it close enough, right? And like any good magnet, it like clicks together. And that's what it felt like when I wrote this.
Modern magnetiles.
Modern magnetiles.
I love that. Well, I knew it would, I just thought it would incite some good conversation I also, it adds to my perspective because it's helpful because like I'm 50% rule adjacent. So it's good that
You are a 50% ruler for sure.
Yes, it's good to be in the know. But of course, like running through my head are all like the cheesy questions that I just, as much as like I'm interested in the substance of like the book and writing the book, and I'm sure many of our
You're
listeners.
like done.
No, I'm like, okay, this is
done.
great. I want to know like who's the book mascot. Like I want to know who at the tailgate, who's going to be the mascot. Like, or maybe not real, but who's our imaginary tailgate mascot.
Yeah, it's funny.
Ball, our 50% sports ball team.
We talked about having a mascot.
Your book should sponsor a team, and it should be called like the 50%, like a youth soccer team. I'm sorry,
50% ballers.
Okay, so the 50% rulers. Okay, so now who's your mascot?
Well, it's funny. We talked about when we talked about the tailgate tour, of course, as soon as you come up with something that's slightly different and has a theme, like you just go wild, right? With ideas and stuff. And so actually Heather Pierce, I remember, came up with, we should have a mascot, which we've done. We're doing a lot of fun things at the tailgate tour. We did not end up doing a mascot. Maybe the Minnesota one.
I'm going.
Hey, there's still time. You are coming. You could be the mascot.
Like, look, that in Amman, Jordan, when I was a diplomat, I played the Easter Bunny 2 years running. It was my greatest success. It was my greatest diplomatic success. I mean,
so I think I don't know who the mascot is, but the mascot is clearly a juxtaposed like bunny head with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bottom or a Spartan bottom or half. It's half and half, right?
I am.
The wheels are turning.
I'm up to this challenge. I feel like I would be.
You could get your costumes early and blend them together. You won't.
Clearly,
you won't show up as half dinosaur, half
dinosaur, half
bunny
in a leisure suit. I won't do that. Like that's not going to happen.
No, you would never do that.
Half business, half pleasure. Like that's not going to happen. Oh, girl. Now I just.
So the answer to your question, who would be your mascot? You know what the answer is? Nicole Licata Grant.
I just got myself a job, everybody. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
A passive aggressive question. Like, hey, I just want to ask this. I mean, like, no biggie, buddy. You got anybody playing your mascot or anything?
Yeah, you're like, anyway, got someone who's trying to represent you, like to everybody on the field. In your
that's how you get a job.
No,
that's how you get a job. Hey, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, do you got a senior director sitting around that's going to make sure that you grow this division? I mean,
yeah. And yeah. And by the way, does that come with any perks like free popcorn?
Like medical and 401k, like the Cracker Barrel job?
I'll also be a hostess and a key holder, whatever the hell that is, while in my.
They both come with medical and 401k. So, like,
better than my first job. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have a roll now. That accidentally just happened. See? Tell me why I shouldn't be the mascot. That was okay. That question was not even tied to the fact that we started off talking about costumes. That literally just happened. I'm like,
it's a magnetile.
It is.
Our podcast is a magnetile too.
Just grows just authentically. It's amazing.
Choose together.
It does. It does. And Erin, I know this is your dream. So, I have to ask you, who is playing you in like the 12-part Netflix special?
Right. So this one, I had a heads up this question was coming. Otherwise, I would have fumbled because So this is clearly it's going to be, and you're not going to know who she is, and it's going to piss me off. Hannah Waddingham. Do you know who she is?
Who the actual fuck is that?
Yeah. Well, let me
Is
pull
that
up.
from Bridgerton?
No, it's from Ted Lasso. There.
Oh my God. Wait,
Now here's a screenshot.
don't know her.
Here she is.
Okay. See, I knew you were going
This
to do this to me.
woman. So now I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to the people that are actually have seen Ted Lasso.
I'm going to get me Apple TV. Okay. Just help me. Help me.
Pay for a month and binge it. She is the biggest badass. So she's this blonde bombshell, British accent, sings, and this girl can lay down the F-bombs better than anybody I know.
I want to be this person when I
1000%. And I wouldn't change your accent. I would pretend I'm British. I would pretend I'm way hotter than I am. And yes, Hannah Waddington. I'm going to manifest that right now when this turns into a movie because it would so be a movie. Not. That's
at least a 12-part Netflix special.
There you go.
You
One
can be
can
the orange is a new black. All right, Hannah Waddingham for the win.
Yes, check her out. You will. Yeah, she's hot stuff.
I'm putting Ted Lasso on my to-do list over here, okay? Because I cannot take
The harassment.
Lasso one more time. I do try to watch TV shows. I just can't get into them. It's very hard for me. And then I start daydreaming.
I can't either. Ted is different.
I know, but here again, we're talking about a woman who doesn't really like to read, who wrote 2 books. So anything can happen.
This is true.
I can get Apple TV and watch this fucking show about something related to sports.
Yeah, it's not on your freaking DNA report that you don't watch TV well.
But it's related to sports ball, right? There's like a
but it's more. It's
tangential. It's sports ball adjacent, but not legitimately sports ball. Okay, I mean, I'm down. I'm going to do it for you. Erin, I'm going to do it for you. This is going to be, it's going to happen.
The best. It's like the 50% rule. I hate that I can't, I can't connect with you on that. It's just like if, you guys think about the 50% rule.
There's a wrinkle in our friendship. I have not watched the one show that Erin stayed awake for this year.
So true. So true. I think I only fell asleep one episode and I'm going to watch the whole thing again.
We survived. Roller Girl. We've survived.
Girl, you're gonna love Kiki.
Divorces, marriages, babies, but yet not watching Ted Lasso may do us in. So 5 years of podcasting.
When you see what Rebecca, who is Hannah Waddingham, you're gonna freaking love. Of course, you're gonna love Ted. The Roy Kent character, who this guy is just a total prick that says fuck every other word. You're gonna want to jump him. Keely Jones is basically you. Like, you have got to watch Ted Lasso.
You gotta watch it. All right, I'll do it for you.
Okay.
And now you must tell me, because it's my new favorite outlet. Sum this book up in one thread. Not tweet.
One thread.
Twitter's dead. Long live threads.
One thread. I would say stop fucking following everybody else's playbook and just 50% rule it.
Right.
I had to.
All right, we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that thread with a goofy picture of a mascot on the day. on the day
Half
in which
bunny
this will be delivered.
Half bunny, half bowler.
Half bunny, half bowler. Girl, anything can happen. Like I have my marching orders now. Thank you for telling me why. And
thank you for spending my fake book launch day with me a week and a half in the future, in the Back to the Future.
I'm always with you, even if I haven't watched Ted Lasso. I'm always here in the background thinking about your mark on the world and what ridiculous shit I'm doing and how you can exploit it.
Oh, what pawn I'm going to play in it?
It's like, what ridiculous shit can I do and how can we exploit it? But also because you let me just show up at your house and pretend to watch sports ball and drink your beer on Sundays. So and hang out with your children and force them to like me.
No, there's no forcing there. They love you.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, girl.
Have a great rest of your day. And, here's to all things 50. You, this book, and my freaking muffins.
Hey, it's Erin with a teeny request. If you have ever gotten any value from this podcast and you'd like us to stick around, plus you want it to continue to grow so we can kind of swindle bigger and more knowledgeable guests to join us and to keep providing you with tangible and inspiring actions you can take to achieve the career and life you deserve, could you please just take 1 minute to leave us a rating and a review? Those reviews go a long way in attracting guests to the show, and candidly, they really make Nicole and I's day. We see you. We really do. So when you have the time and inspiration, we'd love to see a rating and review from you. Thank you.